Hey folks, I'm Melhorn. In this video, I'm going to give you some important tips to help you catch more fish the next time you go long line trolling for crappie. Just got started, dragging some baits, marking a few fish. There's a small one, little swimmy tails. Little bait, little bait. I'll let him go. I got enough bait at home. I'm only keeping ones big enough to eat today. Well, on this particular day, it was early in the spring. The water temperatures were still relatively cool. The crappie had not pulled up on the bank yet to spawn, so they were out in the more open water in these creeks and coves. So what I decided to do was do some long line trolling, pulling some jigs, some of them with minnows, some of them just with some skirts, some of them with some little swimming grubs on them, just to see if I could find a good pack of biting crappie. That is probably a perch. That there is fighting like a perch. I got another one going off on that rod. It's staying down too. A lot of head jerking there. That is a perch. I may be coming across a school of them in here. We'll have to see. Perch action. We'll take those. Now, one of the things to keep in mind when you're long lining or pulling these jigs behind a boat, your boat speed will determine where those jigs sit in the water column. The faster you go, they're going to rise up in the water column. The slower you go, they're going to sink back down. So it takes a little bit of playing around to figure out what works. One of the easiest ways to do this is find you a place that's got a pretty level, flat bottom, and go out and play around with the speed and see what happens, how far those things have to be out and where they go. So you can tell by the rod tip when they start bouncing the bottom. And it's something you kind of have to figure out individually, depending on what kind of boat you got, how you're moving it, whether you're using a trolling motor, big motor, that type thing, or if you're just drifting with the wind. Jig weight plays a part too. Heavier jigs are going to sink faster, lighter ones are going to stay up more. Some of the swimming tail grubs that I use in some of these things need a little more boat speed for the tail to flicker. So a lot of variables here, a lot of stuff to figure out. But for me, it's kind of fun because it's still relatively new, and it's like it was when I started fishing for catfish and started drifting and dragging for them. There was a lot to learn, a lot to figure out. And for me, that's part of the fun of fishing. I think this may be perch in here that I'm getting into. This one may not, we'll see. I got one on that corner rod I hadn't got to yet. My outside rod just went off again. He's staying down like a perch. Yep. Another one coming on the head jig. We'll mess with these for a while. I need some of these for bait because I use them in South Carolina. You can't use crappie in South Carolina, so keeping a few of these for my catfish bait. Now, what I figured out in this creek was that there was a narrow patch where there seemed to be a lot of fish, about a 100-yard stretch. Now, what I think it was, there's an underwater point that comes out there. It's got some rocks, it's got some stumps, it's got some structure around it. And I think this is where those fish were hanging out. You can find this in a lot of creeks. There's another one that I fish, and there was a patch in there where the fish were. I don't know why they were there. The only thing I can think of is there's a nearby dock, a very large one with a lot of cover, that they may move back and forth from. You'll find this in places. Sometimes it may be something you don't see the first time. Maybe there's a big tree or a pile of brush down there that they can move back and forth to. But a lot of times you'll find these places, mark them on your sonar with a waypoint, and start working. Yeah, still on there. Yeah, he's on there. Got another one going right there. They're staying down like perch. It's funny, up to this point I hadn't gotten into any perch. That's actually a crappie, small one. A little swimming jig. I got those swimmers on this outside rods here. A little bitty one, little feller. We're gonna flip him back. Let's see what we got here. Boom. Hooked up. Not sure what that one is. Thinking perch. Let's see. That might be small crappie. Yep. Boom, a small one. Another one on the little swimming tail there. That one is. I got 2 of those out. He hit them pretty good. Another small one. Now, as far as using minnows or not using them, I'll be honest with you. Some days it really depends on just what seems to be working and what you're hitting and where you're fishing at. I've had days where I've caught almost all the fish on just jigs with no minnows on them. Then other days, it's the only way you can get them to bite. One of the great things about this type of fishing is you're able to put out a spread of rods. I fish 6. A lot of people fish 8, 10, or 12. I put out 6. I vary it up on a little bit of the stuff, try to see what's working, and then try to narrow it down from there to a specific color or type of jig that's catching fish. Try not to slime line. I just got this stuff. When I first started crappie fishing this year, I was just using clear line, and I kind of got into this trolling thing. I wanted something that was, it looked like my catfish line, and that's it there. Nice little fish. Good one. Let them go. Let's get another one. That's one of the Carolina Hookers jigs there. Bear one out there, a little white and black. That one's tore up. I probably need to put a new one on there. That one's kind of got worn out here. There's like a narrow pocket where these fish are at least the ones I'm catching are. I got to get this one around some stuff here. Go under that. Under that. There we go. Yeah, they're kind of in a narrow little window here. That one is a peach. Piece of bait. Catfish bait. I'll keep them. Swimmy tail. They like them things. Oh, they're perchy. Throw him in the tank. Got me one going here on this way back line. Way back. It's way back there because I forgot to flip the bail. Hey there, crappie. See what my speed's doing. I'm zipping now at 1.2. This one I forgot about. Retied it and recast it, and it went way back there. That's a good eater there. We'll keep him. Boom. White one. Get some wind. Fish, keep a fish. Now, one of the things I noticed here that about 1/10 of a mile an hour change in the speed dropped these jigs in the water column just enough to get a good bite, and I started catching fish. The bad part was I was catching a lot of white perch where I was fishing, and nothing wrong with catching those. I like to use them for bait. I like to eat the bigger ones, but I had plenty of bait in my tank at home, and I was really trying to find a good bite on some crappie, so I decided to pull up, make a move, and see if some were hiding in another creek. Boom, made a move to another creek. Made a couple passes through there, and I don't know, didn't get any more fish. Made a move to another creek. We fished this one about a week ago. There were some fish in the outer part of it. It's a few degrees warmer now, obviously. And make a drag through here and work my way a little bit further back than we did the other day. There was a lot of fish out here, but not many toward the back. So we're gonna see what we can get down to here. Got this one on a little swim tail. Some wind at my back. There we go. Good fish. That little swimmy tail. I'm kind of moving along pretty good, so these things are playing really well. Not even gonna mess with him. I'll let that one go. Boom, got one going. Not sure what this is. This may be an old catfish. Not sure what we got. It's on my B&M rod. I need more of these. I like these rods. I love the flexibility of the tip on these things. My line spun off on my reel there. I need to get that thick. That's a big, maybe it's a big perch. Ah, it's a good crappie. It's a eater crappie here. This is an eater. This is the one we're looking for here. That's the kind of fish we've been wanting right there. That's a good one. That's a good fish. I came on a little hair jig. I was meaning to put more of these hair jigs on there. That's a good fish. A real good fish right there. Nice crappie. He goes in the tank for later. Boom, popped one, popped one. Wind is bad. Wind is ripping. It is a ripping back in here. I'm gonna do some finagling. Oh, there we go. Good perch. Not the crappie we're looking for, but a good perch. And a whole bunch of lines. Figures. Wind, if you can pick and choose your days, don't go when it's windy. But makes controlling the boat a little more difficult. But you can't always predict control when you're going fishing. That, largemouth bass. Here's a largemouth. Yep. Kaboom. I can't even make that one look big. There is a small fish. That is a small fish on my little swimming grub. Got that one going off over there behind me. And the wind is hideous. Another one coming in here. Another one. Crazy wind now. It's getting bad. Getting bad. Just want to figure out where some fish are. Flip him back too. Another one here hooked up on. Getting in the back here of this creek. Getting shallower. I'm gonna see what happens back here in the super shallow stuff. A lot of fish. Just a lot of small fish. I guess I'll be happy I'm catching something. I'll be happy I'm able to fish. I got that going for me. Little swim tail doing it again. Seems to, I guess as fast as I'm pulling today. It's helping. Definitely helping. Bam, got that one. Got that one. That's a small one. See if I can get that boat speed down. I had the wind here a little bit. My goodness gracious. That's live bait size right there. Look at that. Look at that. Future. Well, folks, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, and here are a couple of more videos that I think you're going to like.